Hey guys, welcome to another Homelab Series video. In this video, we will be hooking up a Windows test server that I created to our AD server to show you what the process looks like to kind of just add another server to the domain that we created. So this video is also sponsored by me, myself, and I. So if you enjoy the content, love kind of what I do, want to send me some free swag, hardware, whatever, all that. My email is in the description below, so send me an email. All right, let's get started, guys. Okay, so there are kind of a few pre-steps here before we can actually change the domain. The first thing that we'll need to do is actually update the networking so that the DNS actually points to our Active Directory server. The reason for this is because of how the domain actually is set up. It has all these other DNS entries that make it so that it actually communicates correctly. So what we'll do on our test server is actually update just the DNS preferences and hit 145 so that essentially we'll be able to resolve all the domain stuff. We'll validate settings upon exit, so click OK to that, click OK. You'll see the Windows Network Diagnostics. You can just ignore that, and there's nothing wrong, it just happens to pop up. Okay, so now that we have that, the next thing that we need to do is actually open Control Panel. Yeah, good old Control Panel. The irony is they haven't got rid of Control Panel yet. Even though they tried to move everything into like the system app, they still have Control Panel related things. So what you'll do here is go to System and Security, and then you go to System, and then it actually does pop up, which is kind of funny on here. Give me 1 second. And rename this PC in advance. So from here, you can click change, because we will want to change the workgroup or domain. So the computer name is just Windows Test Server. We'll change the domain and we name it dragon.local because that's the domain that we created on our AD server. We'll hit OK. The net BIOS name is limited to 50 characters, which in this case will be WinTestServe, which may that's good to know. So apparently if you do more than 15 characters, it's going to truncate it, which is fine. That's not that big of a deal. But if you don't want that, you can change it up. So next thing, we'll need to actually log into the domain with a domain admin user. So if you don't have a domain admin user, you should go create one. If you don't know how to create one, you should go look at my AD video, because we actually do create a domain admin user. And we actually named it Dragon. So here we go. Now that should essentially log in. So essentially if it fails, it wouldn't say welcome to the domain. It would actually fail saying, authentication failed. So now we'll click OK, and then it'll have to restart the computer. So you close this, and then you just restart it now. So now that that has been added to the domain, if you go to your Active Directory server and go to Active Directory users and computers, we should actually be able to open the domain, go to computers, and now we should be able to see that our computer, it truncated the name, which is fine, Windows Test Serve is now hooked up to our Active Directory server. So after this hooks up, we should now actually be able to log in as the Dragon user in this server once it boots back up. So give it a few seconds here. Applying computer send, active domain. So now it can be hooked up to the domain. So we go to other user. So you can see how it goes, signs in as Dragon. So you can sign in as Dragon. And now it's hooked up. So if we added another user in here and we allowed it to, log into other things, we could do that too. So the thing with this, if you decide you want to still log in as an admin user or a local user on your computer, you can still do that. And I'll show you here once this loads. We need to log out here. So log out. So if you decided you want to log in as a normal user, not a domain user, you can actually do /, and it'll sign into Windows Test Server, which is actually the computer itself. This is the exact same thing as if you did Dragon domain like that, but the / is just another way of saying, hey, I want to log in as a local, because the dot is itself, right? So you can still log in as administrator or any other local user if you decided you still needed to log in as them. So it's not necessarily tied to just domain account. So if you ever locked out, the domain or something, you can still log in locally if you needed to. So there you go, guys. That is how you hook up a Windows. In this case, it was a Windows Server to Active Directory, but it would be very similar if you were to do like a Windows 10 or like a Windows 11 computer to the domain controller too. So if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.